Good morning, fourth grade. How are you guys doing out there today? We're getting ready to begin week 2 of homeschooling. I hope you guys are doing all right. I hope you guys are safe out there. What we're going to be working on now is we're going to be talking about lines, points, angles. This is the last thing we've actually talked about before we left. However, I want to get a good, strong grip on it before we move on to measuring angles, because if you struggled in that or it's been too long since you've done it, measuring angles is going to be a little bit too hard. So we're going to go over some basics and we're going to work on that this week. Be sure you're logging into Google Classroom every day, checking the assignments, submitting. We are working in Khan Academy this week. If you have not got signed up for that, do it today. If you're having trouble, contact me. We are tracking your progress. If we're checking to see if you're coming in every day doing assignments, that's one of the things we're going to take in consideration when we decide to promote you to 5th grade. If you're not logging in and doing the work, there's a chance you'll have to repeat 4th grade, and we don't want that. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get on with today's lessons. We're just going to review some things you should already know. So let's go ahead and look at some basic things. So when talking about lines, line segments, rays, the first thing we talk about is a basic line. The key components of a line is there are no endpoints. A line goes forever in both ways. That is a line. If it's got 2 arrows at the end of it, you're just dealing with your basic line. Simple enough. Now, if we have Baymax here, I always call that Baymax, which is a piece of a line. These 2 dots represent the end to the line. So there's 2 endpoints to this line, which means it is only a segment. This is what we call a line segment. Only a part line. Remember, line segment kind of looks like Baymax's face. 2 dots and a line. And then, of course, one that I'm kind of partial to is when we have one endpoint, but it goes, yeah, I know I'm not an artist. Get over it. Going in one direction. This is called a what? A me. That's right. Array. Array has one endpoint and goes. It can go either direction. That doesn't matter. It can go either direction. Now, these are your basic lines. You got your line segment, and ray. Now, I want to talk about a specific type of line. Say I have a square. I know what you're thinking. Man, Mr. Young can draw a perfect square. So, say I have this, and I have a line that goes through it. Now, on both sides, I have a mirror image of an object. We call this a line of, that's right, symmetry. A line of symmetry cuts something directly in half, and it's like it folds over on it, like a mirror image, not a copy. So if I had a triangle, that triangle, I'm going to make that. A triangle. A line like this, would you call that a symmetric line? If you do, you are correct. Now, if I drew a line through this, no, that is not a symmetric line. Say I have a shape like this. Kind of like, whoops, 2 triangles stacked on each other. We're going to pretend those are the same measurements. And it goes through like this. While these are the same shapes on both sides, they are not mirror images. So that line would not be symmetrical. Remember, a line of symmetry splits something completely in half where both sides are mirror images of something. Now, let's talk about angles. First angle we have is our basic 90-degree angle. We call this angle a right angle. So, line comes straight and flat over. 90 degrees, right angle. Now, say I have an angle that's wide. This one is going to be more than 90 degrees. And if an angle is more than 90 degrees, we call it obtuse. Remember, it opens wide, it's big, it's obtuse. Then we have an angle that is less than 90 degrees. This angle is called acute. And I always think of that like, look, it's so tiny, it's so cute. So, oh, and of course, if you have just a straight line, we call this a straight angle. So there's your four types of angles. You have your right angle, which is 90 degrees, obtuse angle, which is more than 90 degrees, acute angle, less than 90, and a straight angle, which is actually 180 degrees. So those are your type of angles. And next week we're going to actually talk about measuring these bad boys. One more thing I want to go over. Okay, let's talk about sets of lines. So, we have, let's say, we have lines that do this. There's one line. I'm going to put my arrow so we know it's just a line. Then another line that comes across just like this. When two lines cross, we call these intersecting lines. Those are intersecting lines. They're just lines that cross and touch each other. Now, if I have lines that are like this, that are straight lines right next to each other, they never touch. These are called parallel lines. They never touch. Kind of like some of y'all in some passing grades. Y'all never meet. Just kidding. I love you all. Now, let's talk about a certain type of intersecting lines. Say I have a perfect vertical line going straight up and down here. And then another line that comes... Ooh, that's not straight at all, is it? A line that goes straight across like that. Makes like a plus sign. Ooh, my goodness. Well, that's good. That's what we're going to deal with. I never claimed to be an art teacher. So if I have lines that intersect like this, and they form 90-degree angles here, these lines are called perpendicular. Perpendicular lines are lines that cross and make 90-degree angles, like a perfect plus sign or a perfect cross or a T or anything like that. So these are the basic lines, angles, and segments that you guys should know already, because they are what we talked about before we broke for spring break. Little did we know we weren't going to be coming back anytime soon. So, but I want to review those. You should know those already. We're going to practice some stuff with those. So hopefully everything's a review and you can get a little bit stronger in. So then we can start moving on to modeling or measuring them. That's what we use our protractors for. It's a little bit trickier than you might think. So, guys, let's give our best effort this week. Let's show up the best way we can. Let me see you in there working, and give it your best shot, because I'll be taking grades on these Khan Academy assignments. And remember, if you still have trouble getting in there, get hold of me. I will help you out. So, all right, guys. Well, you have a good week. If you need me for anything, don't hesitate to call. Bye, guys. See you later.